What's going on, everybody? We're back here with the Big SEC podcast. We're missing Will today, sadly. He had some stuff he had to tend to, but with that being said, we still gonna get y'all right today.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got a couple different things we're gonna talk about today. We're just gonna truthfully get right into it today. I know Carter's wanted to talk about who we think's on the hot seat for this upcoming season. So we got a couple guys that we're gonna discuss who we think's, in trouble, and since Carter, that's his topic, we'll let him start us off.
I said we could go with one or two guys, whatever y'all think. But I got two guys that's come in mind. One of them I think's been on the hot seat for the last. I'm gonna say not including this year. I'm gonna say the last 2 years for sure. I'm gonna say Dabo to me has been on there. I'm a big Dabo guy. Obviously,
I agree.
He took a Clemson team that was kind of in the mix there for a while. He turned them into some
Powerhouse.
about 6 or 7 years. He took them into a national championship team,
Yeah,
and he brought in
powerhouse.
some really good quarterbacks, some really good wide receivers, some pretty
Defensive line, strong.
I mean, they were
defensive
really
line.
good, but in the last, I'm gonna say since 24 to now, it's just not been.
Pretty much since the new
Since
era of football.
since DJ, I can't say his last name, Ukulele.
Uyagale?
Yeah,
He kinda-
he
was not good.
He ever since he kind of took over after Trevor Lawrence, he was not good.
Yeah.
And Cade Klubnik was a decent quarterback. He had some moments where he was really good. He had some moments where he was really bad. But I think that falls back on Dabo too, because Dabo doesn't hit the portal. He's one of them old school coaches. He went out and he got what he needed from recruiting, and he got some good recruits, but they weren't.
They're not doing enough.
Yeah, they're not doing enough. Kind of like what we talked about last week with the way the NIL is evolving and transfer portal is evolving. You want to go out and get guys that have experience, and the ACC is obviously not as strong as the Big Ten or the SEC, but there are some really good teams in the ACC, and to compete with those guys, you've got to go out and get guys with experience. And I think Dabo, and he's got some guys in the portal the last 2 years, but he's just not competed.
Yeah.
And I think Clemson fans are really upset with him right now.
I'm going to say respect to Clemson as a university and their
Yeah.
athletic director, though, because they're doing it right.
Yeah.
They've had many opportunities. They could have fired him.
Yeah.
And they're doing not what
Penn State.
Penn State
Yeah.
did to James Franklin
Yeah.
or what LSU did to Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
They're doing it respectable, and
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Giving
but
him chances.
you give him chances, and if if this year they flop,
I think
it's
he's on.
time.
I think he's on his third strike. He's in a full count right now. He's on his third strike.
Yeah, I agree.
I think realistically they could finish top 3 in the ACC,
Yeah.
but I think he's going to have to finish in the top 2, if not the top spot. And I think he's going to come out and have a really good season for him to.
Yeah, they really need a playoff
Yeah.
appearance.
They do
Yeah,
because
really
I think he to me, and I love Dabo. I think Dabo's a great guy. He's a really good coach, but in the last 2 or 3 years, he's made some mistakes. He's blown some leads. He's winning the games that he should have won and he didn't win. And I think that Clemson fans themselves are kind of getting upset with that.
Yeah.
I think that's football, though.
Yeah.
that happens.
It happens.
It happens to every team.
Exactly.
But in this day and age, it's so everybody's cutthroat.
Mm.
It's like
Playoff or
it's
bust.
playoff or you're
bust.
gone. Like we're gonna find somebody else. But that's hard though. 'Cause
Yeah.
Who are you gonna hire?
Exactly. Well, it's kind of
You know what I
like
mean?
what
Like-
it's kind of like with Nick Saban. After Nick Saban left Alabama, we were like, who's going to take this job? Like, everybody was like Lane Kiffin. Kalen DeBoer came out of nowhere, and Kalen DeBoer is a really good coach, and he's not been Nick Saban, but there's
No, I
not
don't
ever
think-
going to be another
I
Nick
don't think
Saban. But
okay.
he's made his name. He's brought in some really good guys. He's had good teams. Like, they've not been terrible in the last how long is it, since 22?
Yeah, so season 3.
Yeah.
Season
But
3.
that though, it's like Nick Saban kind of any coach could have walked in there
Yeah,
and they're still
it's-
going to get recruits. I mean,
Yeah.
I could have walked
It's
in there and
Alabama.
you're going to get
Yeah.
recruits. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But it's like that's a little different than Dabo Swinney's situation. He's been there so long,
Yeah.
Okay,
but it's not to that level of.
DeBoer is also he faces it's an SEC team.
Yeah.
You're trying to live up to Alabama standard.
Mm,
That's
yeah,
a hard.
it's
hard ask.
It's
I
hard.
think that's probably the hardest job in the country to live up to the expectations of especially for fans of this age because of what Alabama has been.
Yeah, I
people like our age don't know anything but Alabama.
Winning. Alabama
Yeah.
used to suck.
Yeah.
There was a time
Yeah.
where Alabama sucked.
But we've never seen that.
Yeah, there
in our
was a time.
lifetime,
We've
it's-
never seen college football without Alabama being a top team in the
Yeah.
in the
There was
nation.
a time where Alabama struggled to
Exactly.
win 50%.
And this
of
might
their
be,
games.
and to be honest, from the time I was in middle school till here in the last 2 years, Clemson was like that.
Yeah.
Clemson, from the time I was in 7th grade till the time I was
Pretty
a
much.
senior in high school,
They,
they were right there in the mix all the time. And they went to what?
They won two
They won two natties.
Two national championships.
They went back to back and beat Alabama one year, lost to Alabama,
Yeah.
and then they went back 2 or 3 more times with Trevor Lawrence.
They played. Yeah. They also were producing crazy NFL talent too,
Mm-hmm.
like defensive line,
Yeah.
corners,
Yeah.
receivers. Two NFL quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson's nasty though. So
And Trevor Lawrence hasn't lived up to the hype.
last
but
season
he has
had a
he
great
has had a
season
couple
last
good
year.
seasons.
Yeah.
But and I know y'all they're gonna think I'm biased on this next coach, and Charlie doesn't like the take that I got, but Shane Beamer,
Yeah.
the last since 22.
Yeah.
They've been there like, oh, he's the guy. He's gonna come in, he's
Every-
gonna win
he
big
has-
games, this and that, and he hasn't produced that kind of hype. He's not been around the hype. Like
I
he's
mean,
not.
It's like last year, they were talking like they were getting in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they were talking like they were like going to beat everybody, run through
Mhm.
people. You got a Heisman candidate quarterback. You got a good defense. You got a good defensive line. You got was it Nick Arbor.
Nick Harbor.
You
Yeah.
got- they had everybody,
yeah.
and then he turns around and he's.
He only won 4 games.
Four.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like what, and I think that's better than the Dabo Swinney take. I would say they're about even.
Yeah.
It's either you win or you're out because
Yeah.
we just looked at his
Yeah.
record and he's barely
He's
over
30. He's 33 and 30.
33 and 30 as a coach.
He in the last 3 years he's blown 4 different big leads.
Yeah, it's-
big leads. Like last year he blew a 30-point lead to Texas
I
A&M.
think this is ties back into the last episode of them being a surprise team.
Yeah.
If it's not,
I think
if it's not
yeah.
8 or 9 wins, I think they're going to be
Yeah.
looking for a new coach.
Yeah.
100%. He's got the pieces there.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, he is loaded.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of college football teams, especially in the SEC and the Big Ten. They're loaded to the teeth with talent. But if you can't put up, and it's hard to do in the SEC
Yeah.
and the Big Ten, it's hard to do across the college football world to win half your games or win
Mhm.
8 games to
With,
have job security. But it's like if he doesn't do it at this point,
It's got to.
it's
gotta
going to be
now.
changed.
Yeah,
It's
it's
gotta
gotta
be.
yeah.
You got
If he was going to have any year to prove himself, it's this year.
you got possibly 2 top 10 picks on your team.
Yeah.
If Lenora Sellers
Has a good year.
has a great year,
Yeah.
he definitely is going to catapult himself up to even with the loaded quarterback class. Because Sellers is gifted physically,
Yes.
like more than these.
Yes.
He's tall, he's quick, he's strong, and then Dylan Stewart. I don't see any world where he's not a top 10 pick. Him and Colin Simmons are like this
Yeah.
right there. They're
Yeah.
just neck and neck for just top pass rushers. And
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, loaded
yeah,
to the
I
ground.
agree 100%.
But those 2 are my guys, and like I said, nothing against them. Those are just 2 of the guys that kind of stand out to me. There are a couple more, but those 2 guys are, like I said, like I've seen Dabo coach for a long time, and I've known Beamer coaching. He's been coaching for what, 10 years?
He's been there. Yeah, he's been around. For
I
a
mean,
long time.
those 2 have really just stuck out to me, especially, the Shane Beamer. And like I said, I'm not a Beamer fan, but I think he's on the hot seat. Like,
I don't like him.
I don't like him
I
either.
can't stand that dude. I mean, I cannot stand.
Yeah.
There's 2 coaches in the SEC that I wouldn't. I mean,
I wouldn't
I'm not
throw a
even gonna
rock
say
at
it.
him.
I
We know
wouldn't
the
do
other
nothing.
one. That's Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Lane
Well,
Kiffin.
yeah. Now I throw
Okay.
Lane Kiffin. There's 3.
Oh, who's the other
There's 3, and Lane Kiffin's number 1. Thank you for reminding me
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin's number 1, and then it's Shane Beamer, and then it's Mike from Missouri.
Oh, Eli Drinkwitz.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Drinkwitz.
Eli Drinkwitz. I
Yeah,
can't
he's
stand that guy.
He's goofy.
he's
I
a
can't stand that guy.
He's a
But I mean, I agree with your take on that. I
Yeah.
mean, there's
Um,
they're both even in my opinion. If they don't produce winning seasons or
Yeah.
at least win eight games, I think that Dabo Swinney like I think if he wins 7 games, he's fired.
Yeah.
But if South Carolina wins 7
I
games, they go
think
7-5, he's good.
Yeah.
I think he needs to be in the conversation of the playoffs.
Yeah,
get a chance.
100%.
And they were in the playoffs the first year. No, they didn't make it the first year, did they?
The first 12 team? I don't remember.
Well,
I know
they beat SMU. I know that.
Yeah, they
But anyways, either way, last year
was a flop.
was a flop.
Cardinal flop.
Everybody was talking about them. Cade Klubnik, he was one of the Heisman front runners. Everybody was like, he's gonna come in, do this and that. They had some pieces, and they just didn't do anything. They blew some leads. They lost some games they didn't need to.
They got a loaded wide receiver room.
Yes,
like they got some guys that should play in the NFL. Brian Wesco and T.J. Moore, two just absolute.
Antonio Williams is still there too, ain't he?
Mm-hmm. That's just.
I mean, that's just. I feel like that's everywhere though.
Yeah.
The more I look into it, the more we do these, and I'm looking across. It's like
these teams
are loaded. Like back in the day, I mean, you had talent all across. You've always had talent on teams.
But now it's like.
But now it's like
3 or 4 guys out there running routes, and it's like,
dang.
he's.
Which I don't know their quarterback situation.
Yeah.
I don't know who they've got. I don't know. Kay Visna. Vizana or whatever.
Guy who come in late last year.
Yeah. He came in when Klubnik was out a couple games. Yeah. And I don't know anything about him. But those are my 2 guys. I'll let these other guys talk about theirs. But like I said, those are my 2. If y'all got any other guys and y'all got in mind that we don't name, drop them in the comments. And we'll give our opinion on those guys. And that's all I've got.
You want to go next? You want me to?
Here you go.
I'll go. So I'll start in the Big Ten. We're going to go with Luke Fickell. That's Wisconsin's head coach.
Yeah.
And when Fickell came to Wisconsin, people were expecting a lot. Yeah, probably too high of expectations for what they're in. But with that being said, back-to-back seasons without seeing a bowl game, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's bad.
Wisconsin used to be a really big powerhouse.
Yeah, that was back whenever. Only reason I know this and different, I talked about Tennessee on Busting Balls, but I'll say this here. Like, the only reason I know that is because they were good in the 98 era, the 90s era of football. They were top dogs. So
Wisconsin's like that's like your grit kind of team, like an Iowa.
Yeah.
Like a hard nose. They like to run the ball, play defense, and slow games down.
The last time they were good was when they had Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
I mean, they were good.
Yeah.
He was a stud in college.
But he's back-to-back losing seasons. Haven't really won a meaningful game in a while. And Fickell, I mean, they had high hopes for him when they brought him in, and it's not panned out. And with that, they have, they're going to play a good, tough schedule this year. But if he can win, I think if they're if they go 7-5, 8-4, he might make
he's
it through again.
Kind of like the what I said, Shane Beamer is.
But if another losing season, no bowl game, I think it's going to be, he's out.
The road.
Yeah.
And then another guy, we'll get broadened out a little bit, Dave Aranda at Baylor. He, last season, 5-7. And then the season before, they started off 1-5, and then won 4 straight games, and then lost the last 2 to end the season. But this year, he's bringing in DJ Lagway from Florida. That's a good pickup, maybe.
Good.
Lagway was supposed to be
that guy.
A high.
Him and Sellers were supposed to be the top runners in the SEC last year.
And Lagway really struggled last year.
And it might be one of those things he might need a fresh start.
That happens a lot. Yeah. Where guys need just a different version of football. Yeah. Hopefully it can work out for him. But if it doesn't, Aranda's definitely in trouble because Baylor's not really. I'm not gonna say they've ever been a powerhouse, but they went through kind of like a stretch like these other teams, like
Robert Griffin.
Robert Griffin into. I think Bryce Petty was after Robert Griffin. Bryce Petty used to throw the rock. That's like the last NCAA 14. They had Bryce Petty as quarterback, and that's when Baylor had cool uniforms too. Yeah. Baylor had some sweet uniforms.
Yeah.
They kind of been irrelevant for a little while now, and they get to open up the season against Auburn like last year, and that could really be,
that could be
that's a heads up game.
Yeah, that's a
sneaky
quick,
good game because it was good last year.
Yeah. They better come ready to play some defense.
Yeah,
they better come ready to play some defense because that boy, at Josh Golish, he anywhere he's been so far as a coach, he has put up averaging 50 points.
Byron Brown with him. Byron Brown's a sneaky All-American player. You know, he played at USF last year under Alex Golish. Is it Alex or Alex?
I don't know what it is.
I
just know it's Golish or something. Yeah, maybe it's.
And they put up freaking points, like you said. Like
they put up points,
50, 60 points.
Well, he was the offensive coordinator in 2022 when we were putting up 50, 60 points a game.
And, that's going to be a good first week game to pay attention to.
This might be the first team he's ever had that's going to have a good defense too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say he went down there to USF. That's where he was, right? And
they beat Florida last year.
Was he there 2 seasons?
Yeah.
And he turned that program on its head. And I told Dad, I was like, I've been keeping up with him because, I mean, obviously, he turned the Tennessee offense around like he did. I'm obviously going to watch what you're going to do as a head coach. I mean, he was blowing people out the water with no recruits.
Yeah.
He had some talent. Like I said, every team, I think, has those star players.
Yeah.
But it's across the board as a team that he didn't have a lot.
I'm pretty sure he brought some guys.
He did.
Yeah.
Like I said, with him. So Byron Brown. And I think he brought a couple wide receivers with him.
Yeah, they tried to bring Iverson Hooks with him. Iverson Hooks went to Oregon, though. Good decision, Mr.
Good decision.
Good decision, Mr.
My two I think my two coaches are number one, Florida State's head coach.
Mike,
I think he's on the hot seat.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have a winning season after missing the getting counted out of the playoffs on that 13-0 season, and then his quarterback getting hurt.
Yeah, it was.
It's went downhill ever since.
They started off hot.
Yeah, they come out and beat Bama.
Everybody was like, oh, here they come, and then they lost to somebody.
They finished 5-7.
Yeah, they lost to somebody in that
awful games.
Yeah, that's bad.
Awful games.
I remember watching that Alabama game, and I was like, holy crap! I was like, this game, and you never know, like that was definitely an off day for Alabama because Alabama ended up going on and beating a lot of teams that year. Yeah. But
they kind of did each team did a 180. Bama turned their season around and played in the playoffs, and Florida State they
fell off the map.
That was bad.
I watched the TikTok earlier about Jordan Travis and them being 13. They were 13-0 going into selection show.
Yeah,
and they didn't get in.
That was robbery. I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
You put any other team in that situation, and the fans are going to be rioting. You know what I mean? That's bad. You cannot leave a 13-0 team out.
That was. I think that was a huge push for the bigger playoff field was because that happened.
Yeah,
they had that, gigantic.
Well, they appealed it and everything. It was a whole ordeal.
It was a big mess.
Yeah. And I mean, looking back on that, it was a robbery because when you go 13-0. You deserve to be somewhere like that, and
it would be different. Only way I can see it being different if it was a team
that was undefeated too,
undefeated. Like I don't know how to explain. Like you see your, the teams that just got moved up to Division I football, at the FBS level, North Dakota State.
Yeah.
Like if they went 13-0, I could see them missing the playoffs, and nobody would even say anything.
Yeah.
But a Florida State team,
Power Four,
like big time,
and they had beat some pretty decent teams.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have any wins that I thought was like, whoa.
Yeah,
but it's still 13.
They handled business.
Yeah, they took care of what they were dealt with, and you shouldn't be able to.
And it sucks for Jordan Travis because
he's out of football now.
Yeah, he never played another game after that.
He retired.
And it sucks for him because he put his heart on the line.
Yeah.
He put his body on the line for that team.
He was really good.
He was
really good.
And, it sucks, but, obviously can't do nothing about it now. It's been 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But
my next coach is Matt Rule.
Nebraska.
Yeah. I think that he came in with the Nebraska fans having a lot more expectation coming out of the NFL. I think he was coaching at Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
When you're dropping down at the college level from the NFL, you were walking into either a really good situation or a really bad one. And so far, it has not worked out from what we've seen.
Yeah.
You name me one coach that has went from the NFL to college football and been successful, and I will agree.
Yeah.
But
especially now.
It is it's bad.
Well, he picked up some pretty decent recruits, too. Dylan Raiola was the top quarterback. and he's not panned out there. He ended up transferring to Oregon, and he thought he was going to be the starter. Dante Moore came back, but maybe he can get another year under Dante Moore, and he can learn some things, kind of like
what Dante Moore did.
Yeah, like what Dante Moore and Dylan Gabriel did. Yeah. I mean, Dylan Gabriel he sat under a year. No, he came in.
He come in as a 6-year guy. Gabriel hung around for football for a long time. Like,
he started out. Gabriel started at USF. Something under Josh Heupel.
Then he transferred
to Oklahoma, and then he went to Oregon. Yeah, he was in college for a while.
Well, he sat under a year from somebody. Did he sit under a year at Oklahoma behind Kyler Murray?
Maybe. He might have.
I think he might have. But either way, like if you look at like some of these quarterbacks that have been playing college football in the last, say, 5 or 6 years, they've all sat under a guy that's taught them a lot, and they've ended up going on and doing just as good, if not better.
That year, like you sit in an offense and learn an offense for a year, and like you get to watch somebody else run that offense, learn from them. It's worked out very well for the few guys that have done it.
Yes,
it has. I think there's situations though, and I'll talk more on the other podcast about it, but what I'm talking about. But I think there's situations though where it could work out.
You can throw
a true freshman in there.
Yeah.
But it's very lucky.
It's
very lucky. It's risky.
Tennessee balls right there.
That's exactly where my head is right now when you say that.
If you look at it from a whole college football standpoint, there's not many. There's not a lot of people doing many, if all, freshman quarterbacks starting. They're all going out and getting guys that play for a year or 2 years, and we weren't that lucky.
Other top,
I can't think of another.
You got that.
Last year, Julian Sand was a freshman.
Yeah,
but now, granted, Julian Sand had some.
He was a red shirt too. We had that mixed up.
So he sat a year.
Yeah, so he had it
behind.
Yeah, yes.
Will Howard.
Yeah, no, you're gonna be like a. Faison, that's a true freshman.
That is he's going from
college ball or
straight high school competition. He's getting thrown into the pit.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that goes.
He's got some defenses he's going to play too.
Yeah.
If he starts, no decisions have been made.
Yeah. We're just talking about like that's.
I think personally, that's who I would go with.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
If I think that they might go with George first, but I definitely think by the end of the season, Faison will be in the offense a good.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun to watch, but I was just saying, like, I don't think anybody in the country is doing a true freshman.
No.
Not some teams maybe throwing a redshirt freshman, or your lower FBS schools maybe throwing a true freshman in there. But a 19-year-old kid going out there and playing football, and don't get me wrong, he looks like a grown man.
Yes,
but
he is a man.
It's just that's rare to see, and we'll see how it pans out.
It'll be entertaining.
On the Matt Rule thing, I think he just had high expectations coming in,
extremely.
And he did very good recruiting wise.
Yeah, they
he had very good recruiting first year. What's he a third year there?
Mm-hmm.
First 2 years he did very good in the recruiting classes, and decent in the transfer portal. But it's just the fact he's not producing the way his expectations.
Nothing's translating to on the field. They're just having. To be blunt, mid-seasons. Kind of like Wisconsin, kind of like Baylor, just mid-level play on the field, and it's, I like that.
But I'm going to say this. I think he's in the Shane Beamer and the...
Dabo.
I think Dabo's in the sense if he goes 75, he's fired.
Yeah.
Shane Beamer can go 75, 8-4, and I think he's got one more chance.
He's like another guy that we can throw in here. He's not. I think we talked about this before, like a Lincoln Riley, where Rule's in the same boat of they gave them so much money to come here and coach that it'll cost to fire them. That's definitely something they're thinking about. They might still get fired. Lincoln Riley has an absurd contract. So does Matt Rule. Matt Rule's is just, that's another. These other guys don't have as crazy of a contract as they do.
And it kind of puts you in signing those contracts and hiring those big coaches. It's a high risk, high reward type situation, and you just pray it hits for you. You know what I mean?
It's like LSU, that Brian Kelly firing. That was they had to do a heck of a payout to him.
I'm sorry, but that may pan out for him. But I don't agree with that fire at all.
I'm not a Brian Kelly guy.
I'm not either.
He's a crappy guy.
Yeah, 100%.
He's a But Lane Kiffin's a crappy guy too.
Yeah,
Lane Kiffin's a crappy guy too.
I don't agree with fire. So it's like he was. I think he was like 70%. Same thing as James Franklin, like winning 70% of his games, and then you turn around and fire him because he's not in the playoffs. Yeah. That's the day and age we're living in college football, where if you're not in the playoffs as an upper team, I think lower teams can, skip by and get around. And if Vanderbilt, for example, I don't think nobody until they show up and win, 24 games in a row, nobody's going to look at them and be like, man, we're expecting you to get in the playoffs. Yeah,
last year was just a Clark Lee's figured out a system there that is really working for Vanderbilt now. They're
going out and getting 30-year-olds, by the way.
Yeah, but I will tell you, Vanderbilt last year, their team was made up of 80% seniors.
Yeah.
This year, they're all younger players.
That'll be another team that starts a true freshman quarterback with Jerry Curtis.
That is true. That is true.
Two Tennessee teams.
But, I mean, Tennessee may not. They may not.
They may not. You never know.
But now Vanderbilt, 100% is going to be.
Jerry Curtis.
100%.
We need to get Luke on here to talk about Jerry Curtis. That would be a great topic.
You got another one?
Yeah, I want to talk about what y'all's opinion is on Bill Belichick. This is a good rollover from the time we were just talking about Matt Rule. It's another coach. I can't think of another one, mind you. I don't keep up. There's none in the SEC that have done it, I don't think, where they've hired an NFL coach.
Yeah.
But he's coming out of, coaching the Patriots. He's, almost 70 years old. He may be 70, I don't know. But I don't know why you just don't retire.
Should have stayed a winner, Bill.
He goes straight to North Carolina, and he has struggled.
He's still an avid Patriots fan here, and a Tom Brady diehard fan. Bill Belichick, why would you come back?
Yeah,
I mean, you can love football. Yeah. I respect that. You are a football, mastermind.
He is.
But
it's different.
You're coming into just a bad place to coach college football.
North Carolina has not ever.
Drake May is, the Drake May.
That's the best. That's the best guy that's ever came out of North Carolina for football.
The Drake May era was a good era, but in this level of football, North Carolina's going to be hard for them to compete. Even, I think, North Carolina's mindset was, let's go get one of the greatest NFL coaches ever, and he's going to attract people to come here and play.
And he did. Yeah. And he did. But it's not
lost a lot of guys since then, too.
He's used to coaching grown men, and
it's different.
I love Bill Belichick, and this is nothing against him. He also got to coach the greatest football player ever for a
long time.
And I think their success was just as much on Tom Brady and that team as it is as Bill Belichick as a coach.
Yep.
And he should have rode off.
I would have respected him more. Now he may turn around. We can say this in 6 months. We could be watching him. He's 10 and
2.
10 and 2. You know what I mean? You never know, but.
You can't ever count him out though.
Yeah.
Because he is, like Charlie said, he is probably one of the greatest minds to ever coach.
Yeah, he probably is.
But you can't count him out because, and we've been saying it for the last 2 weeks since we've been doing this podcast. Anything can happen in this day and age in college
football. I'll say, like I just mentioned North Dakota State earlier, they could walk their way in a 12-0 season and something crazy.
Nobody expected Indiana to turn their program around on their head like they did and win they won 15 games.
Yeah,
they won 15
perfect season.
Yeah, they won 15
season. Heisman Trophy winner.
Speaking of Indiana, they
the last time anybody done that, LSU 2019.
Yeah, they recruit that he was talking about. They stole from Alabama.
They absolutely snagged that wide receiver.
He's Alabama homegrown.
Yeah.
And we were talking about Alabama earlier. That has been a lot of recruits from Alabama have been not committing to Alabama. You got these there's West Coast teams coming in, like your USC's, your Oregons, and that Indiana's not a West Coast team, but they're going in there and they're taking these 5 stars and blue chips out of Bama.
Yeah.
And that's
on Caleb board too.
It's on to Auburn too. To Auburn too. Auburn, you're in Alabama. You might be little brother.
I'll give a little credit to Auburn on that though. I mean, first new coach.
Yeah.
If he has a good season, and I hope he does.
I do too.
I say this all respect. I hope he beat the living, what, out of him. But Like,
Yeah.
he has a little wiggle room.
Yeah, you want to root for a
him,
guy that come from a Tennessee coaching tree, and also Golesh seems like a great guy.
Yeah,
he seems.
I think he's genuine.
Yeah, a great football mind, and Byron Brown too. I'd love to see him succeed.
Yeah.
That's he looks like he goes out there and he plays hard.
Yeah.
And he does some pretty impressive things on the football field.
Yeah, but I just don't think, back to this Bill Belichick talk, I think it's about time for him to go home.
I really
go
wish
home.
he would have he's got a awesome 24-year-old wife. Then I would have just rode off into the sunset with her. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say this a minute ago, I think I would have had more respect for him as a fan if he would have just done ownership or something. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Maybe been an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator or assistant or just so he can stay around football. I know that's where his head's at, where he just wants to continue to be around football, and I would be the same way if I was in his shoes.
I don't think college was the move.
I don't think that he should have.
I think he did that just to kind of give it a shot. Yeah. But I mean, it just didn't. It didn't work out.
Which he's got. He's gonna have this season. He's only one season in, so he could still prove some things.
Yeah,
but it's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough.
Do y'all think he's regretting his decision?
No,
not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe not yet.
He got a pretty big contract, so he's probably not regretting it at all.
But
I mean, I think if it was me, I would be like, dude, what did I just do?
I think
he's so much. I think he's
at that. I think he's at that point in his life where he's like, hey, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna win. If I don't win and I get fired, I'm 70-year-old. Okay.
I don't know if he would think that way. I don't.
Well, I think he's a winner. I mean, I
get where
he
wants
from.
to win.
Yeah,
he wants to win.
I don't think he's sitting there saying like I'm sure when after that first season he's like, dude, this is a lot. I've bit off a lot more than I can chew. Type of it. He's not regretting it. It's just more of this is going to be a lot more work than I planned on doing. Yeah,
this is.
And I'm sure he's looking at it and being like, okay, well, let's go. But
in the back of his mind,
he's like,
I might have been better off to stay away from this.
Definitely laying his head on his pillow.
Go a different route than because North Carolina, that's a mid-level school. And
tough unis though.
Yeah, that baby blues are sweet.
Sweet.
Always most of the time have a very good basketball team. North Carolina's been.
They normally have a pretty good baseball team too.
Yeah, they do. They
the last 4 or 5 years they've been in the baseball
World
conversation.
Series, I was say they played in Omaha this year. I think
they made it to the final.
Yeah, they lost Oklahoma.
Yeah. They made it to the final in 22 when Tennessee won it. They had a stud named Vance Honeycutt.
I remember him.
He got drafted by the Orioles. He fell to pick like number 30 something. I don't know how because that dude was a stud. And I know we're getting off football, but like I said, I told you I'm a baseball guy and I keep up with that. That dude right there did not deserve to fall to pick number 24 or wherever he was in. He was in the later round. He didn't deserve that because that dude was All-American. He was an ACC first team. He led that team to the men's College World Series, and he led them to 3 games. And I mean, he's a stud.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's all we got. We got anything else?
We can tie in. We're gonna go conference championship.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. We got. We're gonna stick to the major 4 conferences here. We can maybe hit the group of however many. Group of 5, 4, whatever they're considered now. We can hit on them at a later time, but today we're just going to stick to the main, 4 conferences. And I'll go. I can start off on this. ACC. I think most people Miami is definitely your consensus.
I think it's going to not even be close.
Yeah, I don't even know.
You got your Clemson,
Miami, North
Florida
Carolina,
State.
It's not going to be close, dude. It's not.
SMU could make a push. You was
Kevin
Jennings.
I think if there's any team that I would be like, and I know you disagreed with me on Kevin Jennings, but I watched him play.
Yeah, Kevin Jennings could be a dog. Some of the decisions he makes really just blow my mind. But he's quick. He's very fast.
He's got an arm.
He's got a heck of an arm. But if
decision making just has to be better this year, and maybe hit the film room and he did it. And
they played in the playoffs. Against Penn State.
That's what I said.
That's a team that could sneaky be pretty good and contend. And
that's what I told you off, and I'm glad you reminded me. I think we talked about Heisman's last week. That is my pick. And if I had to choose somebody that's underdog, like who's your underdog pick that could sneak in and be at the
Yeah.
Heisman ceremony, it's going to be Kevin
Yeah,
Jennings.
he made them relevant.
Yeah,
completely
Yeah.
relevant.
Brought
it's Kansas and SEC
no, that's a
too?
Big 12.
Mind you, he is 35 years old.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
He's been around for a while.
He's been around a while. but-
He's making he'll make the most out of his last year eligibility here.
Yeah, he's been, and I figured he'd stay, but
Yeah.
I think
It's
he's my dark horse
Yeah,
pick, and I
could
think
do-
he could turn it around
Yeah.
and compete with Miami.
Yeah, that's I think that would be who I would go look towards right after. And obviously, Clemson could be in that topic as well.
We don't know.
Yeah,
But-
you don't know for
it's
sure.
that's a consent. I think most is it. Would you guys?
I would say
But
Miami
Miami is what now. If I had to choose, like I just said, a team that
Yeah,
would sneak up and be like, "Whoa,
Yeah,
it's
nah,
SMU,
SMU, 100%.
100%." Because Florida State, like we talked about, and Clemson, it's winner, find
They
a new
out.
job.
Yeah,
So
I think SMU's coach. I think his name is Rhett Lashley. I'm not 100% on that. I think his name, but he's done a pretty amazing job there. Like I said, I don't know for sure if that's his name, but he has. Like they won some big games.
Yeah.
And
they beat Penn State,
Yeah.
did they not?
no,
Or
they lost.
Did they lose Penn State?
But they it was a game.
they beat Clemson.
Yeah, they did. They've won some ACC games that nobody in their right mind would have thought that SMU would have won. And that's a lot of props to that coach. He's a really good coach that could possibly, like, if one of these higher schools.
Is BYU in the ACC?
That's a Big 12
No.
team too. That's what we're about to go into right
Oh,
after
okay.
this. But Brett Lashley is a guy who could if an SEC job come open, like, which I don't foresee a whole lot of SEC jobs coming
No.
open because of all the first year head coaches that they
Yeah,
have. It is
yeah.
a very young, like I can't think of how many teams. Kentucky, Florida,
Kentucky,
Auburn.
Florida, Auburn,
Mississippi State's coach.
Mississippi
is
State.
gonna,
He's
Jeff Levy. He's going to have another year after this.
He's got one more. I think Vanderbilt's good. I
Yeah,
think Tennessee's good. I think
all the top teams.
Alabama's good.
Yeah.
Georgia's Kirby Smart's never going anywhere.
Yeah,
They'll retire there.
But like a Wisconsin job or a Nebraska job is
Nebraska
somewhere that you
job.
could see.
I don't think he would go to a team like Baylor, but
No.
I think he could definitely a job upgrade
Yeah,
would be
You gotta
a Florida
consider it.
State.
yeah,
It would be a
something he has to consider if it's up there on the scale.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
we can go gravitate into the Big 12 next, and we'll save the best two for last, obviously. But
So I just don't know who's on in the Big 12.
well, your heavy favorite's gonna be Texas Tech, even
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
the Sorsby situation.
They still got a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, well, they have
He was-
their
he-
defense.
they're
Texas Tech's gonna. Texas Tech spends money. They
that's
love.
Kansas State in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Avery Johnson,
Yeah,
another old head.
Kansas State. I'm
Yeah.
gonna roll with Kansas State.
I like that.
on that one.
That gets out
I'm
of
gonna
the
roll with Kansas State on that
gets
one.
out of the norm right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with that one.
Another team that could sneak up. BYU.
Yeah.
BYU's
they've been
They were in there.
competitive.
They were in it
They
last
lost.
year,
They lost 2 games last year to Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Only team that they lost to was a team that
and
played.
it was a close game. It
Yeah.
wasn't like a blowout. I don't think.
What that held them back is Texas Tech's defense
Yeah.
was just
All over
so
the place.
much better than
Yeah, yeah.
we got some other Big 12 team. Kansas is a interesting Big 12
Last
team.
year they had a good quarterback. I forgot his
Jalen
name.
Daniels.
Is he not
He had
still
a
there?
real good
Yeah,
quarterback.
he is still there.
He-
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Jalen
I didn't know
Daniels.
that.
He won some games last year.
Yeah.
he's
Well,
a dog.
They had high expectations for Kansas last year, and they kind of.
Didn't live up.
But Jalen Daniels, no relation to Jaden Daniels, he's that guy. Like he does
Yeah.
some things on the football field.
They lost their running back.
Is he not in the Heisman front runner?
I wouldn't say he's a front.
I wouldn't say
He's
I
a
thought he was.
your front runners are
Carr,
Jeremiah Smith,
C.J. Carr,
Mensa,
Dante.
Julian Sands. in
Yeah,
there.
Menz
that.
is in there.
Let's see.
I think that's really about it
What
though,
about-
from what I've seen.
Where's USC?
They're Big Ten.
Yeah, they're
Big
Big
Ten.
Ten with
Yeah, which another that's a
That's
Jaden
weird.
Mayava could be a possible
That's weird.
Heisman.
How all like
Yeah,
and
it's
hard to keep up
Stanford's
with.
ACC.
Yeah, they
Right, it's hard to
when
keep
they
up
split the
with.
Pac-12, they kind of like
Some
divvied
went
them out.
west, some went
Yeah.
east.
Yeah,
That's weird.
they definitely they divvied out the conferences based on the expectations of how
Yeah.
good they were going to be. That's like USC, Oregon, Washington, UCLA,
They all
Big
jumped
Ten.
ship.
Big Ten, Stanford. Let's say Washington State and Oregon State stayed. So
Yeah, they're back.
Stanford. trying to think of some other Utah, that's a team.
Yeah.
Utah. We forgot about Utah.
Devin
Dampier.
Yes.
Yeah, they always have a strong defense.
Yes.
Now they will be under new coach Kyle Whittingham heading out to Michigan.
I'm kind of I don't know what Stanford's looking like. I know this is not Utah, but Stanford. I watched them last year. They had some talent.
Yeah, a couple years ago, Stanford pulled off a stunner and beat Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They also last year they came back and beat Colorado.
Yeah,
at Colorado.
Yeah, that Alik Aomer,
Dude,
dude
he's
who
a
ended up
dog.
with the Titans.
He is an animal.
Yeah, a couple. Stanford is a team that I'm pretty sure their quarterback is going to be Ashton Daniels, guy who sat behind Jackson Arnold at Auburn last year. I'm pretty sure he transferred to Stanford. And he come in and played for Auburn in a couple close games that they did lose, but he has no quit in him at all. He plays every down, and
110%.
he kind of got the crap beat out of him at Auburn a couple games because he come in after the Jackson Arnold dumpster fire. UNLV.
Yeah,
UNLV.
He went downhill fast.
Yeah, he really. This is y'all will love this. I think the Tennessee game against Oklahoma sent Jackson Arnold into a spiral.
It did.
It went downhill after that.
Yeah.
I was with Chap at his house watching that game, and everybody's like, "Oh, Oklahoma this, Oklahoma that," and Oklahoma was good that year.
Yeah.
You
But
talking
Jackson
about the game we
Arnold
went
got
19-14? Is that's what you're talking about, right?
It wasn't last season. The season
It was
before
when Nico's.
Yeah,
Nico's first
yeah.
big
It was
game.
19-14, if I'm not mistaken. Or was that last year?
That 1914 was the year. That was the score of the game where Arkansas beat Tennessee. That was
Yeah,
Nico.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry.
The year Tennessee's defense.
Yeah.
The year Nico played, Tennessee's defense was what put them through.
Yeah.
Defense and Dylan Sampson really was.
Yeah.
But they had Jackson Arnold so out of his mind he
Yes.
couldn't do anything. That was the last game he started for Oklahoma that year.
It was. He beat Alabama that year.
He did.
He did.
Oh well.
He did beat Alabama that year because the freshman got hurt
Oh,
because they brought in
yeah.
Hawkins. The
Yeah,
freshman
that
got
was
hurt, and he
yeah.
ended up coming back and beating Alabama that year. Cause that's
probably how he ended up at Auburn.
Yeah.
They saw that. They was like, we'll take him.
I wasn't super high on Jackson Arnold last year, but I thought he could come into Auburn, have a fresh start, and
he
kind of got develop a little bit more. And
let's be realistic. He got handed a top 5 receiver in the country, and Auburn's defense was so good. You watch Auburn's defense play football, and it's like, man, like those guys right there.
That defense held Georgia to 14 points.
Yeah, they held everybody. Jackson Arnold could not do it.
He couldn't score.
You hate that for
You
Auburn.
could almost say he got Hugh Freeze fired.
You
could almost say that.
Yeah, because Hugh Freeze
was trying his
dang
hardest.
good recruiter.
If you watch the clips from his practices, bro, he was going through it every week.
Freeze was a heck of a recruiter, and Auburn really.
Where did Hugh Freeze go?
Dude, I don't know.
Does he got a job?
Look
that up.
I feel like he probably went to like a lower tier, maybe a group of 5 school. Because I feel like there's no way if you saw Hugh Freeze out there that you wouldn't go get him.
Wouldn't hire him as a coach.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
I do like. With that being said, I like the way Auburn went.
He's not a coach.
He's not.
He's living with what this says right here. He's living within the Mississippi Auburn area. Like he's not a coach anywhere.
Yeah,
that could be a big pickup for somebody that
watch. I'm calling it right now. Watch one of these teams, these bigger teams. They're going to struggle, and they're going to be looking for a coach last minute, like Kentucky.
Yeah,
was he not in on the LSU job?
He could have been.
May have been, but he wasn't being out Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, that was Lane Kiffin.
But like I was saying, it's going to be a team. They're going to mess around. They're going to fire their coach late. It's going to be a mishap, whether it's whoever. And Hugh Freeze is going to jump on that like white on rice.
Issue with Freeze was the off-field. He had some off-field problems.
Yeah,
like that. He was getting caught up in that. Just you can't really. You need to stay away from as a coach, especially because I like Hugh Freeze. That's kind of
a good coach. I agree.
Yeah. He really needed to stay away from just the garbage off and Auburn especially because Auburn that was a good job. I like Auburn. Mm-hmm. Always have liked Auburn.
Better than Alabama.
Yeah,
that's right.
Of course. You got Auburn's a storied program. who's
Very much so.
Cam Newton played there.
They're respected more than these teams like Kentucky and Missouri and Mississippi State and
like Auburn last year played a lot of close games. It really
they lost to Georgia close.
Missouri.
They lost to Missouri close.
Missouri was just we watched that at your house. I remember sitting there, and it was like a lot of these games. You look at
Mackay was there.
Yeah, it's like how did you find a way to lose this game?
Yeah, you just found a way to lose.
Like multiple games.
Well, we were at the Tennessee game watching. Like it was at the end of the night after Tennessee had beat Arkansas. And I was watching it on the way back to the hotel. And I was like, they got this game in the bag, and then it just fell apart like that. Jackson Arnold couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, it was a bad.
He cannot handle pressure.
No, he can't. I hate that. He was a good quarterback coming out of high school. He just has.
He's a dual threat kind of guy. Yeah. He's got great legs.
He reminds me of Dumber John Mateer.
Yeah. Great, both of them. Arnold was at Oklahoma at one point too.
Yeah.
That's a great comparison.
He came in after.
Yeah,
Mateer came in after.
I was really high on Mateer.
I think the talent's there. You just
it's a mental thing.
John Mateer's got it, and he don't.
Yeah, he's had to endure a lot of he's made mistakes, and it's the media's clowned Jackson Arnold, and then everybody's. I feel like it's probably pretty hard with him with so many people against you, but at the end of the day, you got to make the plays on the field. That's the
name of the game.
You get so many chances, and that dude has gotten so many chances.
He's been put two really good spots.
Yeah, two great football programs.
And you can't forget too that Oklahoma team that he played for his freshman year. That Oklahoma defense was really good.
Yeah, that's one thing about them Oklahoma boys is those defenses just, every year.
Yes.
That's Brent Venables, defensive guy. They are, we were on the Big 12, that's where Oklahoma came from.
Yeah.
But you said Kansas State. Kansas State, they flopped last year.
That's a sneaky one.
Avery Johnson really is. Avery Johnson's the dual threat quarterback.
He reminds me of John Mateer. I do enjoy watching quarterbacks like that play.
Yeah,
I do 100%. He's a shorter quarterback. He can throw on the run. He can get out the pocket.
Yeah.
If the pocket collapses, he can rush for 30 yards and flip a play on its head.
Yeah.
But I think Kansas State, where I came from, and Tennessee picked up a corner from Kansas State, which was one of the top in the portal. But I don't know what they lost or what they got out of the portal or in the recruiting class. But if they have decent recruits and decent pickups, I think that they can flip.
They seem like a team that kind of
they're always in that conversation.
Bounces like because you think back, a guy that Avery Johnson. I hope at some point in his career at Kansas State, he talked to was Colin Klein. I don't know if y'all remember him, but Colin Klein was the freaking man. He was like. After Tim Tebow, Colin Klein would be the kind of guy you would think because he was big and he ran like a tank.
Yeah, he pissed off.
He took them all the way. This was back in the BCS era, but the year they played Oregon in the it was a big bowl game. Maybe it might have been the Rose Bowl. Could have been the Rose Bowl. They played Oregon in the Rose Bowl when this was Darren Thomas. Yeah, and it was it's the. Colin Klein would have been a great guy for Avery Johnson to hit up and be like, give me some kind of
pointers.
Yeah, because a guy, Colin Klein, I'm pretty sure he's a head coach now, or he's a coach in the NFL, or he's a coach somewhere.
Something.
But I do like the way Avery Johnson plays, and there's got to be a reason. There was teams, including Tennessee, there for a little bit that were throwing chunks of change at him, and he turned it down to stay home.
Yeah.
So I think
he's been there for a long time.
Yeah, he's seeing something we don't see.
He's been there for 4 years, I think.
Yeah, and that's a
fifth year. I think he's his last one.
It's a team that that's a conference that could, even though Texas Tech is your favorite. Yeah, you got some other guys some teams that can make some noise.
Yeah, I mean, there's at least 3 or 4 in there. BYU, and Texas Tech, and then K-State.
That's crazy.
What is it?
So, fellas over here informed me, Colin Klein is the head coach at Kansas State.
Wow!
Whoa! Look at that.
I did not know that. That's crazy.
That's a crazy thing. As we were talking about that.
Yeah, I did not know that.
That's awesome. First of all, for him.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Is that a new thing, or is that just this year?
pretty sure. Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That makes me even more high
Yeah,
on Kansas State now. I mean, new
that's-
coach in
yeah.
there. You got to give him the new coach benefit of the doubt, but
he gets a very experienced quarterback, and then Kansas State usually pops out a good defense.
they're decent. I think it's higher, than some of these teams.
Yeah.
Maybe even some of the Mississippi States
Yeah.
and stuff like that, Kentucky. So
Yeah.
I think if they piece together some skill on the outside and have a decent, just all around squad.
Yeah.
Not a top tier team, but a decent squad.
Yeah.
They could, show up and ball out on some Saturdays.
Another team in that kind of Utah. Utah is a team that we have not mentioned very much.
We talked about this earlier.
Just a brief thing on
Utah.
That's a team that they are going to have a new coach.
Did they have that? Was he number 4 at quarterback?
Devin Dampier. Yeah,
that dude is.
He lit up. Was it Florida a couple years ago?
God.
Yeah, I think Florida beat them a couple years ago when they had Cam Rising. But Cam Rising is like we're talking about guys.
Cam Rising just looks.
Who've been around a long time.
Oh my gosh, he looks 35.
Yeah, he's had like.
He's done playing football now, though, ain't he?
I think
I
hope so.
I think he medically retired.
Yeah, I think he needed to for his body's sake.
He was getting murdered.
His
There's
leg
clips of him
injuries
getting
were
murdered.
just awful. But Dampier is a
He's a dark horse.
heck of a quarterback, dual threat guy. And then Utah, even though they have a new coach, if they stick to their ways, Utah is like kind of not as much as like a Wisconsin in terms of run the ball, great defense, but they're in that realm. They love to. In the new age of football, it's hard to play that way. So they do spread it out, and Dampier helps them spread it out. But they always have a strong defense. I remember Utah has been a team that's been pretty close multiple times and has let it slip away a little bit.
Yeah.
That's definitely a team that could make waves.
Yeah.
But I guess you got somebody
We're
else?
talking about the Big Ten.
Yeah, I was about to say we can transition.
Yeah, let's transition to the Big Ten.
The two big dogs here.
I think it's between Oregon and Ohio State.
Well,
I'm gonna go with Oregon.
I am too.
Not just for Charlie's sake.
Yeah.
I'm saying just from what I keep seeing and the fact that I genuinely like Dan Lanning as a coach. Now, Ryan Day, he's a good coach, but dude, I don't care about Ryan Day any.
They lost a lot on that defense last year, and they lost another wide receiver. But they did bring in some
Chris
good,
Henry.
Yeah.
Chris Henry's the freaking
well,
man.
they snagged a guy from us, Legend Bay.
Yeah, and he looks like a freaking horse.
He's put on weight.
Yeah, he looks.
They're
They just
about trying him at running back.
I'm not for the sake of this. I don't really. Obviously, I want Oregon to win it. And I think what is going to hold Ohio State back is the gauntlet of a schedule they have to play.
You have to start out with Texas.
Yeah, with in turn the conference they have to play Indiana, Oregon, and Michigan.
I did see there was the strength of schedule. They're 8th in the country,
which is insane to me because I really believe Ohio State plays the hardest schedule of any team. The only they go to Texas this year, right? They played.
I believe
they played at Ohio State last year.
That's
they gotta go to Texas.
They go to Indiana, a team that Indiana beat them last year.
They're having to play. They're having to play 3 past college football playoff teams.
Yeah.
Watch what happens though with Indiana.
You think they flop? You think I do too?
I think it's got to be the biggest flop of all time.
That's my reasoning.
He just lost his entire team, and don't get me wrong, he's good in the transfer portal.
Yeah,
but you're about to walk into a tough schedule.
The other Mendoza brother's not there.
No, it's Josh Hoover. Josh Hoover comes from TCU. That's a TCU, the Big 12 team that
we didn't mention. Yeah,
but rightfully so.
Yeah.
I think they were good that 1 year.
I think we're on the same page on that one.
Yeah,
they were good that 1 year.
They're saying Ohio State, like you said, is tough. You consider that a tough game, in my opinion.
It's not.
It's by the time they play, it's going to be like, this is not going to be good.
I think Ohio State might take it in the long run, but I think that's what could hold them back is that schedule, and then a team. Michigan is an interesting team. Really, they play a tough schedule though. They have Ohio State and Oregon both on the schedule.
Do they not play
I'm gonna say this about Michigan.
Texas too?
No, they play Oklahoma.
I'm gonna say this about Michigan. They are considering as a Tennessee fan the experience I've seen with off-field scandals.
Yeah, there.
It does not go good.
Jerome Moore is a bad man.
It is not. Hey, listen, I say this with all respect to Michigan fans because I don't hate Michigan. I like Michigan a lot better than Ohio State.
Yeah.
And reasons for that, but I've seen it happen so many times, whether it was at Penn State before James Franklin, and mind you, I'll jump off of the Michigan topic and say that Penn State, until they will be punished because they fired James Franklin. I'm saying that right now.
Yeah.
They are about to suck.
Well, they fired James Franklin. They got rid of Jim Knowles. They lost 4 or 5 guys in the portal that were their key defenders last year.
They get a they get a favorable schedule though. They managed to avoid Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana.
That's crazy.
They do get they play USC and they play Michigan, which I definitely think USC beats Penn State. It's at the Coliseum.
They'll play UCLA.
I'm telling you right now, I don't know what their recruits look like.
From like an outside view, it looks like you just take Iowa State's team last year and move it to Penn State because that's what Coach came from Iowa State and literally brought a lot of his talent with him.
But back to Michigan, I've seen it happen so many times now in this day and age college football, and I never see it go good. Good.
The Bryce Underwood, the amount of money they paid that young man is insane. But he could
live up to
last year. He had a pretty mediocre season, nothing crazy. They won games last year, and I think bringing in Kyle Whittingham from Utah will be good for them.
Yes.
Because Whittingham, you don't hear anything about Utah doing no scandals. You don't never hear Utah being in stuff like that. Whittingham, he seems like he runs a pretty tight ship and likes to keep his guys in line. That's another thing with Michigan. A lot of it's not even your players that's in trouble. It's just
the coaches,
the staff making just with Jerome Moore.
That's bad, man.
Golly, that's terrible.
So bad. But
then before that, the Jim Harbaugh,
it's bad. You went from this is what happened to Michigan on a tee, and I know this only because not because I keep on Michigan, but because of Tennessee, South Carolina killed us.
Yeah,
came down scandal that ended up dealing. That was what lit the fire. For Michigan to get caught cheating, and I say that because it kind of got rumored around, and nobody really came out and said, but they were expecting to play Tennessee in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That was how it was going to look.
Yeah.
And they have been building up, and then they kind of sold stuff to South Carolina.
Yeah.
And that was a big rumor that came out. And the next thing you know, oh, wow, Michigan, they were cheating.
Yeah.
And then, they got caught red-handed. There's pictures.
Yeah, and they really didn't face much repercussion.
No, it was bad. If it was any other team that I think doesn't hold that type of weight.
Well, the aftermath of it too. Jim Harbaugh left for the NFL right after that.
Went to the Chargers.
Yeah. I like Harbaugh though. Nothing. I definitely think he played a hand
cheated,
in what was going on there.
And then you went straight into Jerome.
That was just
that spiraled so far out of control.
Yeah, that's a definite. You hate it for the Michigan players because they, a lot of this stuff they didn't have control over what's going on. But
it doesn't make you want to play there.
No. With that being said, Michigan could be a team that it's possible. I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Like you said,
I don't see it happening.
Their national championship year was just
it was a fluke.
Tough. Whatever. Whatever.
It's whatever.
Freaking.
I just don't see it happening.
That was that not the year that Florida State got kicked out of it? They didn't make it. Was that not that year?
I know it was
Michigan. Alabama got in.
That's what it was. The quarterback they had was
J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, he plays in Minnesota.
J.J. McCarthy, Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards.
Yeah, Donovan Edwards, man, he
fell off.
That season got him on the cover of college football, and then he
disappeared.
The college football curse.
But
I say Oregon. That's my.
I'm gonna go with Oregon again. I'm not no bias here. It's okay to go to Oregon.
Yeah, I think it's Oregon, Ohio State.
I think if Oregon stays healthy, I think it's a little bit more of a gap.
We'll get a great preview of that because Oregon does go to Columbus this year.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe week 8 of the season.
I'll go ahead and tell you, we will be reacting.
Yeah.
to that
We're going to
game
be
live.
watching a lot of those games.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That will be a.
That'll probably be the one big
Yeah.
game that we watch all year long, like the biggest game, because
Yeah.
that's going to be.
Depends.
That's probably
going
going
to
to be.
season's going.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah,
it's college football.
Yeah,
it
it
could
is.
go downhill fast
Yeah.
for anybody.
Either team. Yeah.
Anybody. It could
Ohio
get
State
ugly.
could very possibly. Don't get me wrong. I don't see it happening, but they could lose 3 games with this. What they're playing.
They could.
Yeah.
They could lose the first game to Texas.
Yeah.
And I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
But
It's yeah.
you
I
got
think,
2 quarterbacks of the same age.
Yeah, I definitely think you could see it happening.
And Texas. I mean, I think I'm retracting my statement here, but they picked up some big time transfer portal
goodness,
pickups.
man.
Cam
wide
Coleman
receiver-
is a top 3 wide
Yeah,
receiver
Where
in
did he
college
come
football.
from? Where did he come from? Auburn.
Yeah, we can with that. Yeah, we're getting on the Texas topic. We can go gravitate into the SEC
The
now.
SEC. Let's start out with just picking our teams, and then let's talk about it. I want you. You go first.
Okay,
I'll let you go first.
Man, they made me eat my words last year. I'm gonna go with Texas this year.
I don't think that's a bad.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's a bad take. To be honest with you, I
It's,
don't know.
it's difficult.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's not gonna be Alabama.
No.
I agree.
It's not gonna be Alabama. I think those days are
Yeah, I think.
gone.
I don't think it's going to be Alabama. I don't think it's going to be.
I think it's.
I don't think this is.
I don't think so either.
conversation.
I don't think so.
I
Either.
don't
it's tough.
think. I don't know about LSU.
I think you're gonna. I think the 3.
I hate to say this.
Georgia is definitely.
Yeah, I'm-
Georgia's always gonna be.
I have 3 teams that are, and there's 2 which I'm big on the underdog. Like I don't like they got. If somebody's picked a win, I want the other team
Yeah.
to win. Unless it's Alabama or LSU.
Yeah.
Right now, just because Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Before I kind of liked LSU,
Yeah.
but now no. But I think Georgia and LSU.
LSU is gonna be a really.
They picked up so many
interesting.
guys, man.
That's going to be a really interesting season. Cause if Chap was here, me and him have had this talk previously. I can very well see LSU losing 4 games this year.
Yeah.
But you
Depends.
Yeah.
I think it depends. Again, it's flip the coin. I don't know.
But I think I'm definitely
Georgia plays a very
Yeah.
favorable SEC schedule.
I'm definitely gonna ride with Texas. I picked wrong on Texas last year. I thought that they ended up 9-3 and out of the playoffs. But Arch really found his stride towards the end of the season, and then you go out and get a Manning and go give him Cam Coleman. That's
tough.
they have loaded running back room. They
They still have Ryan Wingo.
Yeah, they have they got Hollywood
Yeah.
All I
Smothers.
gotta say about that is, like Tennessee, for example, when we have Tennessee at home, you better be coming out
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah,
I'm talking about players that are on the bench.
Yeah,
Like they're gonna kill you.
yeah.
They're fast.
Arch is gonna have to step up in his game, but I think he's got their defense is loaded. Colin Simmons could prove very well. I would say if it wasn't for the stacked quarterback class, he would be your number 1 pick. He is just ridiculous. Their transfer portal was great. They always hit.
Eugene Wilson.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody they're talking about Cam Cole. Bro.
Yeah.
Eugene Wilson. I don't know if y'all watched at Florida, and he had a
Yeah.
bad quarterback.
Yeah.
But that dude he's a stud.
Where
And
he went
you
to
compare that-
LSU?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's at LSU, along with Cam Coleman, along with Wingo, along with.
No. Cam Coleman's at Texas.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Wingo.
I'm sorry. I got mixed
No,
up. But
LSU's transfer.
said-
LSU still got some
Their
dogs.
transfer
yeah,
portal
I got those
was
mixed up.
they grabbed Jordan Seaton. They got brought some Ole Miss linebacker. I can't think of his name. It's not Sunter Perkins. Prince Will Umialale. I can't say.
They still got Wilt Weeks.
Yeah. They I think
That's tough. They also got Tennessee.
Jordan Ross.
They got Jordan Ross. Jordan Ross, mind you, he
was a
is
5-star.
fast. He's lanky. He's strong. He's quick off the edge.
He was a big loss for us.
Big loss.
this is on this LSU topic. A guy who I'm not as high on as a lot of people are is Sam Levitt.
Me too.
I'm-
That worked out
Yeah.
Tennessee's favor.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that turned out the way it did because he's going to be out there limping around.
Yeah, he is gonna have Lane Kiffin as his coach, and Lane Kiffin's a great offensive mind. You see what they did with Chambliss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Chambliss come from Ferris State, was not on anybody's. He wasn't even their starting quarterback.
No.
And now Chambliss is regarded as a top quarterback in.
I thought we don't talk about him enough.
We
Heisman.
Yeah,
We
you're
don't.
exactly
I mean,
right.
dude, they went in there and they won. What was it? 2 playoff games?
Yeah,
without Lane
and
Kiffin?
they almost
Yeah.
beat.
They
Miami.
almost snuck in there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I
They
think we
were
need to start
they
regarding
were
him more
one
than
play
Yeah,
away
definitely.
from beating
There was,
Miami
I
and going
think
to the national
We've had
championship.
some Trinidad Chambliss disrespect, and that's
that's
it's-
on
he's-
us. 'Cause
yeah.
I like him as a player.
oh yeah, he
I like their
plays.
coach.
He plays like just the way he plays. You love it. You love
Him and Kewan Lacey. That's
Ole Miss is the
nasty.
team that
That's
we
what-
haven't
that was
been-
gonna-
I'm telling
that
you.
was going to be. That was what I was
Yeah.
going to say because I don't know about Texas. You don't know what you're going to get out of Arch. You don't know what you're going to get out
Well,
of them guys.
I think you do. You do. Well, Arch is going.
I know I say this.
You know, my thing is, you know what you're going to get out of Chambliss, and you know what you're going to get out of Kewan Lacey, and you know what they got back
Ole Miss has
from last year.
We'll let Will Keaton in on how bad Ole Miss's schedule is.
And he's got a gauntlet. They have a gauntlet.
Play bad.
A traumatizing schedule, to
Yeah.
say the least.
But I feel like all SEC teams play a really hard
I
schedule.
think, and I'm trying to teach myself to not be as biased, but I keep looking and I keep trying to talk myself. Yes, Ohio State schedule's tough. I agree.
Yeah.
They're tough. It's tougher than some SEC teams.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why the top 5 teams are majority SEC top ranked schedules.
Yeah.
It's because
yeah.
like Texas, for example, in their right mind, they did not have to go play Ohio State.
No,
they could have played 3 easier teams
Before they played
and
Texas.
then walked in and made the playoff and lost 2 SEC games, which are very likely to happen.
You're exactly
You
right.
see what I'm saying? Like they chose this.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's just tough. But like I said before, and they disagreed on me, but it's unlikely situation. But you can have a ton of SEC teams with two losses, and I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it.
It might happen eventually.
And it could. Like the thing is that it could be different losses.
You semi had that last
everybody.
year with your the only thing that made it different was Texas having 3 losses, because you had like the Vanderbilt situation where Vanderbilt was left out with 2 losses.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
You can have. It could be like it's
Anywhere
so weird
from-
how the SEC is.
Yeah.
Texas could be off one week and lose a game to Missouri. I don't know who they play. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That's another team, Missouri, that doesn't get a. Missouri's got their offense. You know, they're going to run the freaking crap out of the football.
Yeah.
With Ahmad Hardy and with the other guy they have. I don't remember his name. I remember he's
Tennessee.
No.
like Hardy will probably split carries a little more than he did last year. He's coming off the getting shot, but
yeah.
that is 2 running backs. I can't think of the other guy's name, but I remember watching him play some last year. We literally watched him play sitting in the hotel room before we watched Tennessee, Florida, and Missouri just they
would run the football 95% of the time.
They run the crap out.
Ahmad Hardy, that dude don't get enough credit.
They're gonna have a new quarterback coming in because Bo Pribula.
He hit the portal.
Yeah,
I don't know where he went,
Virginia.
but Tennessee was looking at him.
Virginia. Because we was wanting to get him.
He'll take over for Chandler Morris there in Virginia.
But I don't know. That's just my take.
Yeah.
A lot of teams could have, like in our dynasty right now. If you look, dude, it is straight up.
Oklahoma is a SEC team that
it's a dark horse.
You said it's just it's
just
so tough. You can keep going.
Yeah.
LSU could have 2 losses. They could lose to.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what their schedule is.
Texas A&M.
Tennessee,
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M could have 2
Ole
losses.
Miss,
Ole Miss could have 2
LSU.
losses. Tennessee could have 2 losses.
it's
Alabama could have 2 losses. Georgia could have 2 losses. That's 6 teams already.
You could probably the only teams that are gonna first like Kentucky obviously will probably have
they're
more.
gonna struggle.
Kentucky, Mississippi State.
I think Auburn. I wouldn't say that. I'm gonna knock on wood because Tennessee plays Auburn at home, and I've watched him, the coach. I've watched him coach, and the way he turned around USF.
Yeah.
I'm not counting him out.
There's I don't think you can count out anybody. I'd say I think Vanderbilt will definitely struggle this season with they get Cedric.
I think Tennessee might as well, and I'm a Tennessee fan, but I think we could struggle or we could be really good.
Yeah, I agree. It's 100%. Like Vanderbilt, they're bringing back Cedric Alexander. They're bringing back Junior Sherrill, 2 great weapons. But you're throwing a true freshman in to a
whole brand new situation.
Hot situation.
They lost their entire team. Their entire defense.
The only reason I know the percentage of, seniors or upperclassmen they had, because they were showing. I was watching one of their last games. I think it was versus Tennessee. They were showing, they were #1 in oldest team in the SEC.
Tennessee had the youngest. Vandy had the oldest.
Tennessee was at the very bottom.
Yeah.
Georgia and Alabama were like right perfect in the middle, and then Vanderbilt was at the very top.
Definitely, I think these other 3 power conferences, you can see who's, I think you got 2 to 3 teams that it's going to be one of them. Like, it's even in the Big Ten, I think
it's going to be between.
It's
3
Oregon,
teams.
Ohio State, and we'll see what happens.
I say we pick let's pick 2. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Let's pick 2 teams, and we may have very different opinions, and then we'll just end on that.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
You go first.
I'm a Texas 1. Texas is who and then, man, it's just there's so many different freaking ways you can go here. But I'm gonna go with who's been consistent and who's always there, and that is the Georgia Bulldogs.
I'm gonna go Georgia #1. I've made my decision on that just now.
Yeah.
Because of their quarterback. I think that he's had a ton of experience.
He's the oldest quarterback in the SEC.
He doesn't get enough credit.
He's had a ton of experience, and I think that with his surrounding crew, they're the most consistent team, in the SEC.
Yeah.
With recruits, with keeping their players in check.
Yes.
They don't ever have situations besides they're getting in trouble. But somehow they keep playing. You know what I mean? But so I'm gonna go Georgia, and then I'm gonna go. I want to go Texas, but I don't see it happening unless Sam Levitt absolutely flops to the oblivion, where LSU does not absolutely run through people.
I like the diversity
So
here,
I'm going to go Georgia and LSU.
I like that.
I think my top one is Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is a dark horse.
Yeah.
That is a sneaky pick. That's a tough schedule.
I'm not
going to disagree. I don't know.
I hope
we know what Chambliss and Kewan Lacey can do. Yeah. We know what they're capable of. We know that their head coach now won them 2 games.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to coach y'all. I'm going to say this. It's just kind of on my mind. We don't even think about injuries.
Yeah.
We don't ever consider injuries.
Yeah. No.
Like, injuries can ruin an entire team.
They can ruin a season.
So I'm just going to add that in.
It did not help Tennessee's season last year. I'll tell you that.
No. But I'm saying, like, you lose... it's Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah,
you lose Gunnar Stockton, Georgia is gonna absolutely struggle.
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole. It's and then if Chambliss was to go down,
I think Ole Miss
is 6-6.
But I think to me, if healthy, I think Ole Miss is a dark horse in the SEC.
I agree.
I think their defense is going to hold up because they did last year.
They're definitely not getting talked about at all.
No, and that's not good because Chambliss. Like I said, Chambliss, Kewan Lacey, I think that's one of the best running back quarterback duos in the country. And I think the second team is I'm going between so many. Dude, I think if Oklahoma stays healthy,
that's good. Yeah,
I think if Oklahoma stays, because Oklahoma's always got such a good defense.
This is we was talking with that injury comment or just a second ago. If John Mateer's hand doesn't get messed up last year, they're still 10-2 last year, playing in the playoffs.
They have, and I'm in the dynasty, which I haven't been recording that. I need to start doing that. But in the dynasty, I'm Oklahoma, and I have seen their roster.
It's
insane.
It's good. It's
and
good.
You could throw Texas A&M and you could throw Texas A&M in there. You could throw Tennessee. You could throw LSU. You could throw all these teams, but it's so difficult because like I'm sitting here thinking Oklahoma, John Mateer is a dog. They still got.
You flip to that defensive side of the ball, and you got David Stone, you got Cortland Guillory, you got the Bowen brothers.
Right.
It's just
they're so like. It's so the gaps are just not they're not gaps.
They're
not gaps. They're inches.
Their linebackers. They had I think Danny Stoutsman, however you say that. I don't.
One of them terrorized Tennessee last year. I can't remember who it was.
That defense that they come out with is just crazy.
Yeah,
it's Brent Venables specializes there, and then he gets the quarterback he's got is if Mateer stays healthy, man,
It's gonna be bad.
It's a scary
and it's
team
gonna
to
be,
think about.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
It's going to be fun to watch.
that's
It's going to be fun to talk about. And, we're giving these takes, and they might come back to bite us all in the butt, but who cares?
It don't matter.
But who
It's
cares?
opinions.
We're 4 guys. I know we're just 3 today, but we're 4 guys giving our opinions, our takes on it. And I told y'all in the first episode, there's going to be hot takes. There's going to be things that we disagree on. But at the end of the day, college football, it's about here.
It's all in the fun, too.
We're looking at about a month. And it's about to kick up full swing.
It's going to go 100%. I'm super excited.
It's going to be so fun.
I'm super excited just to go to games. I think it's us guys. I think the older we get, I'm about to start with life. Y'all got full-time jobs. I think we need to start adventuring out and getting outside and going to games.
Yeah, going to different games.
Yeah.
I think that would be so fun.
Get different experience.
Let's go. I think I would love to experience
Oxford and go to an Ole Miss game.
That would be so fun.
We've talked about this before. That's a team that I would love to go.
Or we could go to Texas.
I would love to go to a Texas game. I would love to go. I'm not really going to say Kentucky. I would love to just go to teams, even outside the SEC.
Man, we could go to Cincinnati, Ohio, and watch a baseball game on like a Thursday night, and then turn around and go to Columbus on a Saturday and watch college football.
One place we're going to stay away from is Mississippi State. Them Cowbells, no y'all too much fun.
I take that back. I don't want to go to Georgia. I'm not going to Georgia. That drives me nuts. Yeah. I'm not going to Georgia, Mississippi State.
Nothing against Mississippi State fans, but those Cowbells, I struggle to watch that on TV, man. Like, it gives me a headache on TV.
It's not even the fact it's loud. It's just annoying.
Yeah, it is.
I've had fun.
Yeah, it's been a good pod.
I have... I know we just started doing this, so we're going to keep posting. Yeah. I think we need to start doing, I don't know what their opinion is yet, I ain't talked about it, lives. Doing this live. I think that would be so fun if we do it on live. So I'm going to look into that. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But I appreciate all you guys. Hit the subscribe. Comment what you think if you've made it this far. If you haven't, it's okay.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
We're gonna keep working on how to do this properly and working on how we're talking.
Share with friends, share with family. If you're watching, let us know. Let us know what we need to work on.
Yeah. Criticism is wanted.
Yes.
Let us know. It's not going to hurt anybody's feelings here.
Hit us with some stuff.
Yeah,
please. Oh, it's all in fun.
Most importantly, though, we want to hear your opinions on our takes.
Yeah.
We want to hear. Give us some different point of views.
Yeah.
But hit that subscribe. We appreciate you guys for watching, and peace out.